A Bigfoot creature has been captured on camera by a Cavan local when he was out walking and came across a number of strange stick-like structures in his local woodland. Billy Morgan quickly took some shots of the area. When he returned home and shared them with his daughter online, she immediately messaged him back and explained that she could see something in the photos. His daughter pointed out the figure concealed in the grasses. Billy checked and was astonished to see she was right. There seemed to be a figure that was crouching down, watching him from the bushes and undergrowth. Billy contacted BBR and shared with me not only the photographs, but also an explanation of what happened that day. In June of 2023, Billy, who has an interest in the subject of Bigfoot, felt compelled to visit one of the many woodland places in the area known as the Land of the Lakes. So he took heed and he went there. Even though Billy struggles with his mobility, he set off that day, not expecting to see anything. Not only did Billy capture the strange creature on camera, on a further visit with his daughter the month later, he was hit with a mysterious illness that left him debilitated for several hours. Even on returning home, he continued to be ill. Billy said, "I was drawn to the area around Cavan where I now live in the Royal School, which was founded in 1605. It has its own private grounds and an entrance surrounded by a babbling brook, 200-year-old trees. I was drawn to go to an area one Saturday morning, so I took the hint, and that's exactly what I did. At the entrance, there's this mighty beech tree. It's about 200 years old. I reached out and I touched it, and as an electrical engineer, I know I felt a charge come off it. The charge went down my arm, onwards through my body, down into my legs and feet to the ground. It lasted about 5 minutes. Then the electrical feeling ended. Puzzled by this, I turned to leave. When about 50 yards behind me, I heard a massive, distinct tree knock, and it echoed out. I expected to go a few miles back into the less walked areas to find anything strange. It was just a wrecker, my first time there. But within 400 yards, I spotted the first structure, which was a teepee, about 30 yards up the bank. You should have seen the smile on my face, it was huge. As I got within 10 yards, I saw the structure was on top of moss-covered ground. I inspected the place looking for footprints, but there was none that I could see. There were around 200 or so tree branches, most 10 feet in length or so, and they'd been placed there without disturbing the ground below them, which I found unbelievable. Billy went on to add, as I photographed the structure, I believed that a Bigfoot seemingly photobombed my picture. I had no idea it was there. All I could hear were birds singing, and I felt so at home. For the next 3 hours, I found 7 or 8 more structures. It was like a Bigfoot theme park as the wood was filled with them. I went home. I sent the pictures to my daughter, and she immediately got back to me and pointed out the crouching figure. As my daughter was planning to visit Ireland in a few weeks' time, we planned to visit the area together. And that's what we did. We went up the path, maybe 300 yards, where we were able to find it again. We continued on our way looking for other signs I'd seen, but to no avail. In 2 months, things had changed so much, and there was far more undergrowth. We just couldn't find them. As we came to that area, I would probably say within 50 yards, I became suddenly very ill. I'd been perfectly well until then. In fact, I couldn't have been happier. I began to sweat profusely, even on a cool day like this. The colour drained from my face. My stomach seemed to twist dramatically. I was in a lot of pain. My legs became wobbly. I thought I was about to collapse and soil myself. I staggered into the woods, asking my daughter to turn away as I went behind a tree to empty my bowels. It felt like it started at the top of my head, with a feeling of sweating and dizziness that went down my body to my stomach and then down to my wobbly legs. It was like someone had waved this illness down my whole body. I staggered back onto the path where my daughter asked what I wanted to do. "Let's just get out of the area," I said. By the time we left the path, I was completely recovered, like it never happened. It was all over in a maximum of 10 minutes. On that note, I felt it was time to leave, so we drove back to my apartment in Cavan, 20 minutes away. When we got back, I put the kettle on. Obviously, I'd just begun to talk about our day when, bang, I'm ill again, like I was in the woods. Not as bad, luckily, and I was quite close to the bathroom, but it was really bad. I am so pleased my daughter was carrying some iron with her, as it protected her from this horrible sickness, and it only happened to me. Now, over the last few weeks, myself and Billy have chatted about his experience and other experiences he's had during his lifetime. I will share those events with you all in a podcast later this month. For now, I'd like to thank Billy for coming forward and sharing his experiences and his amazing photographs with us. I do have another image to share with you all in a future video, and it was taken by a man in Malaysia when he spotted what the locals call the orang mawas.